Hi you guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Patience. To my existing subscribers, welcome back. If this is your first time here, be sure to click that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can continue to indulge in the Haute Bella experience. In today's video, I am going to be doing this simple and easy eye look using only two colors out of one particular palette. And that palette is the Anastasia Beverly Hills and Jackie Aina collaboration palette. This is a gorgeous palette. You guys have seen me use this before. I got a request from one of the viewers on another video asking me to do a really simple eye look, and that's what I've done today. And I only use two shades out of this palette, as I mentioned, and I used this shade here, which is Ginger, and this shade here, which is Credit. The takeaway from this video is that you can use the technique that I'm going to show you with any two shades that you choose. It doesn't have to be from the Jackie Aina palette, it can be from any palette, but what I'm hoping you will take away is the technique itself. Because honestly, with every eye look that I create, what I'm going to show you today is the base technique for getting that type of look. I like a more gradient type of look on my mature eyes, and I think that the technique that I'm going to show you guys is going to help you to get that. But yeah, for today, we are using this Jackie Aina palette, which is one of my favorite palettes. And I am using a traditional foundation today. I did not use any blush, and I think that this look turned out gorgeous. This is so simply gorgeous and elegant, and it was so easy to do. So if you guys would like to see how I created this look, then keep watching. My face has been cleansed, and I used my Mario Badescu facial spray to tone my face. I then used my Fresh Kombucha Black Tea Facial Essence, and I followed up with a moisturizer, and I used my Tatcha Water Cream, and I used the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer to prime my face, and I also used my P. Louise eyeshadow base to prime my eyes. So I'm finally ready to get started on these eyes, and I am going to use my Becca Highlighter. This is in the shade Rose Gold, and you guys have seen me use this before. This is my default brow bone highlight when I don't have any other shade of brow bone highlight that I want to use or prefer to use. This works very, very well. All you need to do is take a pencil brush or take some type of brow bone highlighting brush and place this right on the brow bone. I like to start by placing my brow bone highlight first because I like a more diffused brow bone highlight. I don't like it to be too prominent in my eye look, so I find that if I place this first, then it just kind of blends in with the other shadows that I put down later, so it's not quite so harsh, but just gives me a very soft brow bone highlight. And we're going to use this Jackie Aina palette, and the first shade that we're going to use is this shade right here. This shade is called Ginger, and this is the shade that's going to be closest to my natural skin tone. But yeah, this is a beautiful shade, and this is a shade that I would normally use as a transition shade. So this is a beginner friendly look. Some people don't have to have a transition shade. I prefer a transition shade because I like a more gradient, softer type of look on my mature eyes. So adding in a transition shade works better for me. So yeah, so this is a beautiful transition shade in this Jackie Aina palette. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down. But before I get started, you guys know if you have hooded eyes such as I do, you want to make sure that you've tapped out any creases that may have formed in your eyeshadow base. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just make sure everything is nice and smooth before I place any shadow on top. And I'm going to put a light wash of this shade all over my lid. So to start off, I am just going into the palette and just kind of tapping this in place just to get some of that pigment down, like so. And then I'm going to start blending it in. And I'm blending all the way up to the brow bone. Well, almost all the way up to the brow bone, I should say. I'm leaving just that little bit, just a little bit right in there. I'm not touching that. I'm going to put this all over my lid. So I'm just making sure that this is evened out really nicely, making sure there's no patches of color anywhere, but just giving it a nice pretty wash of color. But this is all one color. Just a nice even wash. And now that I've got my first shade down, I'm going to go back into the Jackie Aina palette once again. And I am going to go into this shade right here. This shade is called Credit. So this is a two-step eyeshadow look. So I'm going to use Credit. I'm going to place it on my outer V and I'm going to sweep it into my crease area. So yeah, we're going to use this shade Credit. This is a beautiful chocolate brown shade. And again, I'm just going to start with the outer V. Tap, tap, tap. Just put it there on that outer V like so. Because this is my depth. This is where the depth is going to be, on this outer part of my eye. And I'm going to just sweep it into the crease. And I'm following that socket, this socket right here, just taking it right in there. And I'm moving back and forth because I don't want this to get patchy. Wherever you place your brush first is where the most pigment is going to be deposited. So if I dip into this eyeshadow palette and I start right here, all of the product that's on my brush is going to be placed right here. So then I would have to blend out from this point. So that's something to keep in mind. And then for this outer V, I'm just going to blend this on the ends, like I'm blending it forward, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to blend this in a little bit here on this outer V. So it's not just sitting there. It's just not just a patch of eyeshadow that's right there. Just going to blend that in nicely, just right on the edges, not taking it in too far, making sure everything is nice and blended. And that's it. We're going to do the same thing to the other eye. So I'm done applying the darker shade. That is this shade right here. That is Credit. I've applied that to the outer V and swept it into the crease area. And now I'm going to go back into Ginger once again. This is only two eyeshadows that we're using. And I'm going to go into Ginger and I'm just going to soften up where I need to. So if I'm too harsh here on the edges, I'm just going to lightly just blend around those edges just to smooth it out. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. If it's too harsh, you can always soften it up. Very lightly. Just like so. And I am going to apply some liner and lashes. And since this is an everyday, easy breezy type of look for my liner, I am going to use my Inglot number 94 gel eyeliner. You guys have heard me talk about this liner before. This liner is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to use a little bit of my Duraline just to moisten this liner up a little bit. If you don't have the Inglot 94 gel eyeliner, you can use any champagne gold type of eyeliner. It could be a pencil eyeliner, it could be a gel. It doesn't matter. Either way, it will work. I like Inglot because I have watery eyes and I like the fact that this gel eyeliner stays put on my eyes pretty well. I'm going to line my top lash line with the black number 77 gel eyeliner from Inglot, and I'm going to apply my lashes. My liner and my lashes are done, and I am going to move on to foundation. I'm going to use the Urban Decay Stay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation. It's a 24-hour wear foundation, and I am in the shade 70NN. As usual, I'm going to start off applying my foundation with a brush, and then I will follow up with my sponge. So for my color correcting, I used my Tatcha Pearl in Candlelight, and I also used my Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer in SX14. Those are staple color correcting products that I use all the time on a regular basis every time that I do my makeup. Foundation is done. And now it's time for concealer, and I'm going to use the Urban Decay Stay Naked Correcting Concealer. I am in the shade 70WO. I like the formula of this concealer, and I also like the shade or the color of this concealer because it's perfect when I want a little bit of highlight but not a brightening type of effect under my eyes. So I like it for that. I'm going to use my Hourglass Translucent Veil Setting Powder to set under my eyes, and then I'm going to use my RCMA No Color Powder to set my entire face. And now that my foundation is done, I'm going to go into Epic. This is the Sephora Pro palette. This is the Deep palette from Sephora. And I'm going to use this shade and a contouring brush just to do a little bit of contouring for this look. Not too much, just a little bit. And I know that Epic is a very deep shade, so it's not going to take much for me to get this face contoured. This style brush, by the way, is perfect for contouring. Makes it easy to get the contour cut really nicely and very quickly. And I don't think I'm going to use any blush for this look today. This is an everyday type of look. This is a 2 eyeshadow eye look. So I am doing some powder contour, but I'm not going to use any blush because I am going to use some bronzer, and I hope I don't end up changing my mind on that. But if I do, that's okay. It's okay to change your mind. But I think for right now, I am going to use the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker bronzer. This is in the shade Coconutty, and I'm going to use this to warm up my face just a little bit more. I love the Sunstalker bronzer from Fenty Beauty. It's so pretty. So I'm just going to warm up my face here a bit. So this is warming up my face so nicely. I think this bronzer is going to give me just enough warmth where I may not need any blush. So we'll just keep the look really simple. This Coconutty bronzer is so pretty. I'm going back into the Sephora Pro Face Palette again. I'm going to go into this shade right here. This shade is called LA, and I'm going to use this to add a little bit of highlight into this look. Just a little bit. So pretty, so pretty. And now it's time to smoke out my waterline, and I'm going to use these same 2 shades that I've been using all along for this look. I'm going to use Credit towards the outer part of my eye, and as I come closer into the inner corner of my eye, I'm going to use the shade Ginger. Very pretty. And for my inner corner highlight, I am going to go back to my highlighter from Becca. That's in the shade Rose Gold. And this is the same shade that I used as my brow bone highlight. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of that into my inner corner to bring this eye look together. Just a little bit right in there. It is now time for lips, and I'm going to be using 2 products from Melt Cosmetics. One is a lip liner, it's in the shade Edible, and the other is a lipstick, it's in the shade Old Fashioned. And you guys have seen me use this before, but this is a gorgeous shade of lipstick. And this look is done. I love how this look turned out. It is so elegant and so beautiful, and it was such an easy look to do. 2 shadows, that's it. That's all it took. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye-bye.